Whenever leader leaves all of a sudden, where company, organization, management is not prepared. As per you, Bimal, what type of cost is the highest?
People movement.
After doing all these things, when a leader leaves, somebody new comes from outside. Why leadership development programs fail?
It's based on belief because
We are hiring somebody who comes with a not a cultural driven thing but complete different perspectives.
yeah,
तो यहाँ तो ब्लंडर ही हो गया. Welcome to the yet another episode of HR as CEO, a podcast by HiveStrat. Today, in our leadership dialogues, we are talking about a situation which every company faces some point of time. A senior leader leaves, and then there is nobody inside the organization to step up. At this point of time, the question arises, who was responsible to build the next pipeline of the leader? Was the HR responsible, or it was business head's responsibility, or it was the responsibility of both? To get the answer of these questions from a place of curiosity and not a blame, today we are having conversation with two senior business leaders who bring a 360-degree view, one from a business reality side and another from people strategy side. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome our first guest, Mr. Abhinash Mishra, who is senior business leader with 28 plus years of experience in transforming large companies and leading major growth initiatives across the industries. Welcome, Abhinash.
hi, happy to be here. Yeah.
Our next guest from HR side is Mr. Bimal Vyas, who is the founder and CEO of HiveStrat and a strategic HR advisor who helps organizations to build strong leaders, better systems, and future ready people strategies. So, to start with the real conversation, I would like to understand from you first, Abhirash, that you have been at a leadership positions list like couple of years now. How you became this leader? What is your journey? Who made you this leader?
So there are 2-3 things which have been creating an enabler environment wherever I have been working for, starting from the beginning of my career to the CXO positions which I have been leading. First is culture. Second one is the leaders across functions, because they always believed, fortunately it was my good luck that I was brought up by the guys who always believed that this person or these bunch of persons are real enablers for the vision. So if culture is aligned with the vision, and leaders, senior leaders who are very, very agile to identify and bring them up to a place where responsibility can be shared, I think that is one of the finest activity can be done, and I have witnessed that. I have come to a place where many good and great leaders in industry across functions have been helping me getting into a role of responsibility where I cannot say no. If I say no, they come back to me saying that why no, why not yes, please do this, please do that. And whatever they have been doing, I don't know, it is my nature or something, I have been saying yes, let me do it. So I have failed many times. They have told me, please fail, but learn from this. So the old saying of fail but learn have been a great thing for me in my career. So across functions, I have been blessed with leaders who have been helping me a lot. That's what I can share now. Yeah.
I get that answer. business leaders,
Yeah.
leaders across the
Yes.
functions.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
You fail. A leader who is going to become a leader, he doesn't fail in a particular place. It's all chain reaction. If he doesn't get along with finance numbers, he is not understanding manufacturing. If he doesn't pass in manufacturing, he is not understanding people. If he is not realizing how people do good, he is not understanding culture. So it's all about a ladder which has to be stepped from the first ladder step itself. So I was very fortunate that all those leaders have been helping me understanding, making me understand that you have to do this and all. So handholding was very right actually in my case.
right.
Yes.
So, in all my discussions that I have with senior leaders, what a common theme or common thing is coming out is whether you are a finance leader, whether you are a sales
Manufacturing
or a manufacturing
strategy.
operations, you should know 360-degree business.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's truly that. Great. So, have you witnessed any situation, a real life situation, where a critical role, a senior business leader leaves? Maybe you were a
Yeah.
line or third line, but business leader left, and there was nobody internally ready to step up, right? At that point of time, what was the real scenario? Whose responsibility was it? Was there a blame game or there was a ownership, and how the situations got handled?
Yes. So I would like to give one or two examples where it happens when a leader leaves and the second line is not ready to take the responsibility. It's not about blame game that I do not want to be there, I want to be there kind of thing. The only problem comes, the challenge comes when the leader who was there, he was a very again that agility in thinking comes into picture. He was not working for company's vision only. His personal higher purpose also was of skyrocketing higher purpose. Let us take an example of an IT company. That IT company, thinking that we will be present in next 8 countries, they were just Indian IT services manufacturing services company. So the leader who came, he already had got his higher purpose that I want to go global. The next line also should also think like that. It gets into a mode when the second line thinks that can we do it, can I do it? The question mark in capability comes for two reasons. One is, was the target of the revenue or the business growth plan was irrational, was not supposed to be done by human being kind of thing, or culture. If both the things are aligned, things will move rightly. There are another example where a senior leader leaves. I was in the same organization. There was a meeting by the director, and he said that boss, CEO leaves. Now he has decided that he will take leave from profession and he will do something else. He has reached to that life. So what needs to be done? So the finance N-1 leader, he said that we have to look for a CEO. Somebody from manufacturing, he said that we must look for a person who was working, when we are working for COO, very good in manufacturing, and he should understand CEO. So what I'm trying to tell that when this question comes, who will become CEO, the silo confinement that the person who comes for CEO, manufacturing guy thinks that this he should be very competent in manufacturing, finance guy thinks he should be very competent in finance, a strategy guy says that he should be seeing larger picture. This needs to be normalized. And here comes the role of other functions where they also have to understand internally. The leader who has left, he also should have understood that there are few guys who are not into silo strategy kind of thing. They are all 360 degree. Identifying a 360 degree guy beforehand, nurturing them, making them well mingled with all those senior leaderships. You make him sit on the second line in the board of directors meeting, but make him sit. Make them sit, let them sit, write down, understand, ask 40 questions. But if that doesn't happen, then suddenly somebody will never go and get accommodated vice versa in a leadership room. in a boardroom. So Indian companies, family managed businesses, corporates, and all other conglomerates, the behavior is different. I have been working with many places where the behavior says in many companies they think no, person who is a CEO, he is a CEO. There are the other guys also. They should also sit and understand what is happening. CEO is a smart guy. He understands that legacy is bigger than his aura and persona. He does that. In other businesses, CEO thinks, no, I do not want to coach and mentor. He has to come and get coached and mentored. So, third, leader is very aggressive in terms of number. He identifies few guys who are co-aggressive in numbers. He picks him up and he says that he is my next. So there should be some kind of framework for our family managed businesses, for all those conglomerates, MNCs who are working in India. India is a different world altogether. So it has to be winning formula or a scale where the CEOs, CXOs, the guys who are there, they should understand and try to practice that, coming into a place where things are common, entire organization, everybody appreciates. Also. So these are few thoughts. Yeah.
Great. So, Vimal, here I would like to have your views, Avinash, share that there should be management should pick up somebody who has that 360-degree kind of exposure or that kind of ability, right? From HR point of view, I would like to understand from your experience. Do companies have that proactive approach always to keep identifying such people and make them ready, or it is ab banda chala gaya, ab dhoondho कौन है next? What happens exactly?
Yeah, so if I go with my experience, and if we really talk from the Indian context, particularly from the manufacturing sector where I have majorly spent my time, there has always been a reactive approach. So most of the companies follows the reactive approach, and most of the times we are taking the leadership roles granted, like that if the person has been working with the organization for many years, then it is granted that okay, this person is not going to leave, right? So that's why we are not much cognizance of the fact and the sincerity that what kind of structure we would like to build up. From HR perspective, what you have started your conversation, that who is responsible for that. So I will say it is a joint responsibility between HR and the leaders. And if I am leading the show, if I am leading the function, so I need to have that kind of cognizance that tomorrow if I move out, then there should not be any vacuum and business should not get suffer. So that kind of sense of responsibility I need to have as a leader. Similarly, it needs to be collaborated and co-created by HR through different intervention with respect to, like what Abhinash has rightly mentioned about capability intervention, what about you work on the competency matrix and all that. But the larger challenge within the organization is basically the conflict between aspirations and the qualifications. I am not telling qualification in terms of academics. I am telling you have to qualify for that. You have to earn that kind of credibility and the role. And that's where most of the Indian organizations are struggling, right? That they are not in the position to get the ready-made material for the leadership, like what Abhinash was talking about CEO, where you are talking about 360-degree view, the person in that. But in that context, in as an organization, you should be prepared to groom that person, to develop that person, that okay, now give him the role in manufacturing for, let's take 18 months or 24 months. Give him some role in the R&D, give him some role in, let's take sales, give him some role in marketing. So you need to have that kind of mindset that, okay, I want to build up leaders. I want to create leaders in-house. I don't want to go out and search for the leaders. So that kind of mindset is still lacking. There are some good companies who are following a very great practices in terms of building up the leaders. I know few of the people, I know few of the organizations where they have set up a policy that they will not hire managers from outside.
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So they have that kind of succession plan, career progression initiatives. They have a great capability intervention with respect to different themes like managers create managers, leaders create leaders. So we have to really see from that one perspective that how we really want to see our organization from a large scale. What Abhinash has rightly mentioned, that today if I am a domestic company and tomorrow I want to be global. So normally Indian industry is normally driven through promoters. Most of, like, if you see 90 to 95% companies are running through promoters, there are 5 to 10% are multinational companies who are continuing their operation, creating their operations in India. Now, as a promoter, I always have only one context in my mind. So what is my top line and bottom line? I'm not discussing about capability. I am not discussing about leadership. But interesting and fortunately, the thing is there that now in India, particularly, and the people with whom I have worked so far, and I have been working right now as a consultant, that second generation people are coming as a promoter, and second generation promoters are having a complete cognizance and sincerity about these topics. They really spend a great time with the HR. They really spend a great time with the L&D people. They really spend a great time with the CHROs of the company, that what needs to be done with respect to building best of the culture, best of the capability, best of the leadership. So that kind of change is happening, but it's still a beginning. It will take time for the, as far as I can tell you about manufacturing sector, it will take its own time to really go at that level.
Right. So, what Vimal shared, I have
Yeah.
follow-up question. He shared in his thoughts that as a business leader, it's even his or her responsibility to look for, if I have to move out, who can be my succession, and I give that opportunity, and maybe I can give that recommendation to the HR.
Absolutely.
Right? Do really business leaders think that way?
It's a very tricky question. There should be two answers. One is chocolate coated. Second one is second one is candid. I would like to take the candid one. So in my last 28 years growing from a field executive to CXO, I have seen two things very clear. My boss says I'm a good guy. Entire company says I'm a good guy. This bias should not be there. For example, I would like to compliment Vimal. He said about qualification. Qualification not in terms of academics, in terms of what he thinks, how he has been leading with, and what are the challenges he has qualified actually. This makes him wholesome, qualified guy to lead. So if a leader says that he is a good guy, he can take the next kind of, then we are human being. So are we biased? If we are biased, then it's a positive thing. Biased based on numbers, based on the intensity of drive the guy has shown. So my boss says I am the good guy. Okay, so I should take the next step into his shoes. But over the years, initially I also was very happy that my boss says I am the next guy. But when I am the next guy, real next guy, then we should also understand that was that a bias based on the frequency of interaction I am doing with my boss, because I am into his inner circle. I can go to his cabin, knocking, have green tea, talk to him, discussions. But their guys good, very good at finance, superb in manufacturing. They are not allowed to. So here comes the role of HR. I'll give an example of a manufacturing company. They became from such a small business to a large business now, and they are leading manufacturing of some product. So in that company, the CEO was a very aggressive gentleman, drives numbers and taskmaster, but very good guy, industry stalwart. So few guys used to go to him and talk to him, because when he asks you, you have to only answer numbers. There is no sir and yes and no. There are only numbers. So who the guys who qualifies always talking numbers, they were into his cabin. But when the real time comes, he gets retired. The person who is supposed to be getting into the place were not those guys who were very good at numbers. Yes, the guys who came into his place, the guy who came into his place was a superb people leader, beautifully knowing manufacturing processes and all, and he led one of the finest, and that company grew 2x in 2, 3, 4 years. Here I want to say I have seen the intervention. The HR leader, CHRO in that company, he was always saying that, "Arey, where are you? You are HRBP, no? Why are you in office? Why you should go to manufacturing place? You go to sales place, go to dealers, go to business partners, talk to B2B guys, go with them and see what happens." And there came in the real transformation. We saw the inner circle guys were absolutely awesome. They were very good, but they were not that good, great people leader. Where an executive in field would say that, "Oh, he called me today, I'm proud." So that vibe was not, वो नहीं था. So जब हमको पता लगा, हम तो we were watching what is happening around, we saw superb intervention being done by HR guys there. So HR came out with interventions where not intervention to say that he should not be taking charge. They said that he should be taking charge, but these are the metrics where we saw that the exposure towards business, towards people, authenticity, curiousness, driven kind of vision and all, are these kind of things are there. There are 8 guys, out of that 3 guys qualify, and up to the board now to whom you decide. We being N-1 and others were very happy to understand that whatever HR has said or whatever the functions have said, they have taken instances from the real life happening. They have not taken instances from meetings, reviews, and all those PPT slides or business numbers, top line, bottom line. They have taken all 360-degree kind of thing. It's not about 360-degree feedback. HR has traveled to the field. They have seen manufacturing point. They have seen the discussion going around, talking to the guys, and the aura of the existing leader should reflect in the lowest possible executive or the root most possible executive. That root most possible executive should share the same aura of the leader who shares the aura in corporate office. Then the problem of who will be next will get normalized. In my opinion, as you rightly asked, that next should be a shared responsibility for all. I can give an example of very loudly and many times told by many guys that once somebody asks, "What are you doing?" to a person who was mopping the floor, he said that, "I'm preparing some organization to make a person reach moon." So this should not be an example only. If this happens in the organization, then next level going to the leadership role becomes easy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm taking a little bit more time here. Vimal, Abhinash just shared that a scenario where everybody felt that this inner circle में से कोई elevate होगा, step up.
Yes.
But HR really played the right role and brought the people who were really qualified for that role, right? A very quick yes or no, or maybe a little, all HR teams do that way.
No.
Okay. So let's go to next segment here, that whenever leader leaves all of a sudden, where company, organization, management is not prepared, right? And all of a sudden there's always definitely a cost associated.
Yes.
Various costs, be it emotional, be it financial, be it whatsoever. As per you, Bimal, which is the most highest, what type of cost is the highest from your real life examples, if you see it?
So, as per my real life examples with respect to this leadership transition, although there are different kind of cost, organization is there, and some cost is bearable, some cost is not bearable. Okay, let's take an example of leadership transition. So one cost, like there is a disruption in top line sales and business happens, right? Provided if he has created a very strong structure below him, so that in his absence top line can be maintained. So there are very, very few people who really follows this practice. Second cost is about the people movement once leader leaves, because when you are working with a leader from a long time, you have got certain kind of comfort, you have got certain kind of alignment, certain kind of acceptance, and that is the way people are working, because people are only working for people, right? This is what I have learned. People are not living companies, people are only living managers. So that is the second story is like the second quote is like that: people are only working for people. Now the biggest what I have experienced in my life, that leadership transition causes a cultural disruption, because if you do not have that kind of structure and capability to produce leaders in house, and if you are bringing a leader from outside, he brings a big baggage of his experiences and culture which he really wants to set up in the organization. Right. And by doing so, what happens, there are three elements on which organization runs: culture, your ecosystem, and ethos. So if any person who is coming on leadership role, if he has picked up all these three elements quickly, then you can avoid cultural disruption. Then people are very much tuned, people are very much aligned very quickly. But normally in Indian context doesn't happen. When any person comes on board, he is in very much hurry to prove himself. That okay, I have come down from, let's take multinational companies, and now I know what is my job and that. But leaders forget that one thing they don't know, and they don't know the culture of the organization. DNA of the organization, how the company operates, how the management operates, how my team operates. So that's disruption is the biggest cost for, as per as for me, because it takes a lot of time for the organizations to rebuild the culture.
Right, right. So Avinash, from business side, no, I would like to have your point of view here. What do business looks, recovery of short-term cost, or maybe they have a long-term vision, and to, so how they calculate the cost and what strategies business use to deal in that situation.
So the cost which is measured it comes out from the decision lag.
Okay.
So let us take an example. Organization A was supposed to be having a growth plan, and they have got 3 years, 5 years growth plan charted. A beautiful big from Big Four came, and they also helped, and it was strategized, rolled out. In that second year of third year of time, the leader wants to leave. So when the leader wants to leave, organization, okay, let us take that scenario that they don't have a person to take over or something like that. Here, the only cost, short-term cost will come the lag of decision, because those are based on empowerment, SOPs, transformations, key decision-making points. There, if there is a gap or a lag, you will find it on bottom line and top line too. So how organizations are mitigating that is, I have been working with latest 2 organizations where I was called in for discussing something with them which they can implement, beautifully driving decisions through AI and through digital transformations. Okay. Most of the family managed businesses, they run on gut feeling. So gut feeling is a good term. It's a good tool to have. But nowadays, when 9 out of 10 guys in your competition are using digital methods to decide, no gut feeling should be there, because you are not in majority. So you cannot compete. So if the backbone of the organization is based on digital activities, a leader leaves. When a leader leaves, that decision lag will be very, it's minimized. So you don't spend, it's not a cost. Second is culture. A culture where it is understood that a leader is not for 40 years. He is there, he will do his job, and he will part. See, it is very hard to say that. Somebody in day for yesterday, speaking to somebody, he said that how ruthless you are saying that he should, after 5 years, he should part. It is not being ruthless. It is being fact based, because a leader can be there for 30 years, drive legacies, build a beautiful company. But is your company supposed to be built with 40 years of legacy? In this kind of competition, it varies from segment to segment, sector to sector. In pharma, in manufacturing, in service finance and other banking, there are different kind of theories or different kind of fact-based outcomes where leaders best perform in 3 to 5 years.
Right.
They reach to their apex and they take up new jobs, new roles. Are we ready in the culture? Have you built that culture over the time? Bimal was pointing out very apt thing that this generation which started coming into FMB, family managed businesses, they have started taking cognizance of this.
Right.
It is not wrong. It is right in many cases that culture should drive to a place where company reach to a place, and after that new person should take over.
Right.
And in my opinion, it's very personal opinion. My opinion, a person should not come from a general management perspective. Company's culture should be built like this, that they should openly identify in boardroom, we are not smart in manufacturing. We do not employ the smartest industry 2.0 in our manufacturing. Manufacturing is the biggest area of improvement. So we should have a person who is rich in manufacturing, good in people management, and great in numbers. So this mix is supposed to be a responsible work. Again, I would like to harp on the HR's role here. HR also should be a complementing playing member. There they should say that if it's a cost, yes, it's a cost, but this cost should be mitigated in these kind of scenarios, these kind of things. So two types of cost, I said. One is lag in decision that directly impacts short term, and second one is how you are prepared with the leaders when he joined. Have you taken that leader that he will stay here for 20 years? Then your culture should accommodate. Your vision should accommodate. If you think that no, we are very fast moving, we are in a product where innovation is 90% driving our products, then every 3 to 5 years new leadership should come in. It's not about the leader who goes out of the system. No, the leader who drives the vision should be the person who should come from within the team. But if he leaves out also, you are prepared in case B.
Right.
So you can take him to that place. So
Right.
cost, yes, is there. It happens a bit challenging when these things are not planned well, where Aji rightly said that when somebody is perceived that he is there for the last 20 years and he is doing a great job. He is doing a great job, but right job and great job fades away over the time.
Right.
So it's a tough place for leadership also. Leadership also should understand that what I was before 10 years was good. Now I have to be great.
Right.
So to be great, I have to train. I have to make persons qualify. I have to take along with them, so that when I leave, there should not be a cost, because industry is very small. If you leave somebody, he should not think that he left, we suffered a loss or something like that, some turnaround of costs. So it's a shared responsibility. Leader also should think and organization should think. But I completely agree. These are tangible costs and these affect bottom line, top line, both in the company.
So, from this cost perspective, what I understood, what Bimal shared is, its cultural cost is huge, right? Whereas you shared that every 3 to 5 years, the leadership should move and rotate, but somebody from within should come, because again, it will impact the culture.
Yes.
Right. So it's obvious that next level leaders should be built in house.
Yes.
Right. Now, either of you can give a perspective. How much percentage companies are really investing in building next level leaders in house? Because what my knowledge says, my experience says, is whenever a position gets empty, is may call a executive search partner. I need a CEO. I need a CXO. This is my So, how much percentage, and if they are not doing, what is stopping them to do?
Okay, so if we really talk from the Indian context, uh, industry point of view, if I really go through the numbers, because I have seen some numbers, what one of the best consulting firm globally, they have worked out because they figure out the analytics on the different countries. If we really say hardly 5 to 10% companies who are really working to and believing in producing leaders in-house. And what you rightly mentioned, whenever any person puts down on paper as a leadership level, HR immediately calls executive search firms or the headhunters. Okay, please start to look out the person. Okay, now coming back to the second point, what is stopping them? You see, stopping them, it is basically the transition at top. So there is always a differences in the thought process and the ways of working from first generation promoters and second generation promoter. Now, what is the difference? When first generation promoter has founded the company, started the company, for them, loyalty is the prime factor. That the person has been working with me for last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So that's why, for me, this is the best person. Now, second generation promoters have a different vision, different aspiration, because they are moving into the markets, countries, they are meeting different kind of people, and then they are also getting influence that, okay, this is something I really want to create in my organization. Now, where is the conflict? Conflict is between loyalty and competencies. So, whether I should go to competency, whether I should go to loyalty. Now, there is a big conflict between not the people, between two generation promoters. First generation promoter always feels that, okay, loyalty only drives the business, right? Second generation promoter always believes that no, professionals and their competencies are driving the business. Now, so here HR is also a sandwich to whom we should listen. Yeah. Whether we should go to loyalty, whether we should go to competency. This is the real life experience I'm sharing with you. Now, the larger point, there are the companies who have successfully done it. They have created a balance that what is the need of current times. Whether loyalty is applicable, loyalty is feasible right now, or competency is feasible. So the answer comes competency is feasible.
Of course.
Right? Because the way you are living in the era of AI, you are living in the era of technology, you are living in the era of digital transformation. If I go back 10 to 15 years back, if you have to develop one molecule, you were taking almost 2 years, 3 years time. In the era of technology, you can develop the molecule in 1 year also, 12 months also, 18 months also, right? Now, if you are living in such a very volatile and dynamic world, and if you have to work with the leaders, what kind of leaders you would like to choose? Is it a loyal or is it a competent? Right? Definitely as a second generation. So the people with whom I am working as a second generation promoter, for them, loyalty is only a reference point. Right? For them, only competencies comes into the discussion. Which are the competencies you are deriving today to meet my current priorities and exigencies? Whatever you have performed in last 15 years or 20 years, that's perfectly fine. I recognize, I acknowledge, I respect that, right? Because you have not performed free of cost, for which you have been paid by the organization, and I admire that. But if you have not developed and evolved yourself, and you have not brought up a different kind of competency and skill set to meet current business needs, right? Then for me, this position is isolation. Then perhaps I would not be comfortable to elevate this person to the leadership role. Right? Now, now the first point, if you go back, why HR is immediately going to the executive search firm? Because they are not able to see that kind of competencies in-house. And in Indian,
it's responsibility of
it's
HR also, joint responsibility.
It's a joint responsibility. So that's what I'm telling you. So there is, at certain point of time, there is a failure at HR level also. There is a failure at system level also. Right? So over the period of time, what is happening, particularly in manufacturing, I'm telling you, every time we are bogged up in so much operation, transaction, top line, distribution, stakeholder management, so that we are not able to focus on the core agenda. Your core agenda is your people, producing the leaders, right? That is not happening. So where HR is not able to focus, because HR is also much stuck in operations and transaction. They are not looking at strategic level, what is going to happen, what are my agenda, what I want to drive. And at business level, the same thing is happening also. Now, larger point, what I'm trying to drive here and what I'm trying to respond to your point is that it is once again a very collaborative approach, right? And you, in the current industry context, because we are living in a very, very highly competitive environment, and second generation promoters, they are very, very fast and speedy because they have to compete with the industry, their competition. So that's why they find a very easy way. Okay, bring the people from outside with all this set of competency and start the work. Because if you really invest a time, the person will take his own time to develop his own competencies and skill set. But this is, once again, it's not a sustainable approach, long-term and sustainable approach, that you have to produce your leaders in-house. Because when you are bringing leader from outside, it comes with its own cost, right? Its own stability, its own kind of DNA. You are not sure that whether this person is going to be live in your system for next 3 to 5 years of time. Because as a promoter, you have put up the roadmap of, let's take 5 to 10 years. और आपको कल पता चल रहा है कि 5 से 10 साल में 5 लीडर चेंज हो गए. जब विजन बनाया था तब ए था, और विजन अचीव हुआ तब ई हुआ. तो 5 लीडरशिप चेंज हुए. तो दैट लीडरशिप disruption also creates disrupts your brand positioning in the market, that what is happening in the organization.
Yes, leaders आए, leaders गए.
हाँ, लीडर्स आए, लीडर्स गए, लीडर्स आए, लीडर्स गए, तो कोई टिक नहीं रहा है. तो आपका जो एम्प्लॉयर ब्रांडिंग है उसको इफेक्ट करता है, आपका ब्रांड पोजीशनिंग डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है. So it is now, this is the high time, I would like to tell you that we need to really, this is a very serious topic on which HR, business, leaders, everyone needs to sit down together and come out from this kind of disruption.
Okay. Thank you for this perspective, Vimal. Avinash, I would like
Yeah.
to hear from you. Is like, obviously, as you know, there are companies who are heavily investing in
Yeah.
leadership development programs.
Absolutely.
They do this process ongoingly, continuously, and keeping the lead, investing in making the leaders. But still, after doing all these things, when a leader leaves, somebody new comes from outside. From your viewpoint, why leadership development programs fail?
So there are few aspects when we understand that the leadership development program fails, or the ladder we created was not robust. Is belief. It's based on belief, because when the leader was leading, we had our vision ready, we strategized for growth and all those things. The leader led for 3 years and 5 years, and he left. We saw the result. The result was 65% competent. It was not 100% thing. Immediately when that leader goes out, we look at 100% number driving leaders inside the leadership training candidates. We forget that the guys to whom we are training for next leadership, he will come and drive at 65-70% of the results only for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. Might be new age guy. He is not that in his 60s, 50s, might be a new age guy. He might take less time. So why I said belief, it is from both the perspective. Belief should be under control. Our agenda should be under control. We should believe that the guys who are being trained, they will take some time. They'll take some 3, 4 months, 5 months, 1 year of time to at least go to a place where the leader was leading with complexities for last 5 years.
But
You-
ये तो बाहर से कोई आएगा, उनको भी तो
बाहर से जो आएगा वही है बिलीफ का गैप. क्यों? क्योंकि जो जेंटलमैन 65%, 70%, 80% डिलीवरी करके फॉर हिज ओन रीजन, गुड सेक, ही हैज लेफ्ट. Suddenly our mind gets into a place, being promoters, being the HR heads, being the strategy heads, that okay, सो अगर हम बाहर से लेके आएंगे तो ही विल थिंक डिफरेंटली. In 60-70% of the cases, I have been panelist to interviewing senior talents where I was coached before sitting in panel that we need a person who comes with fresh perspective and he should not be culture driven similar to us. He should bring in new things. So what happens? You are building up your pipeline based on one of the finest cultures you have built for the last 50 years in this country. Very ethical, smart working, based on beliefs, trust. Now you are bringing in a person because he has been delivering 98% of his commitment in last 3 years, but he is from a different segment where the weight is always towards manufacturing, not towards services. You are a manufacturing company, your revenue comes from services. For example, an elevator company. Let us take an company, elevator company. Elevator company is 60% revenue into manufacturing, 40% into service, but that is very crucial. So a company is driven when the belief system on your being developed talent complements. So bringing in new talent from the thing is good, no problem, you can bring in, but here comes the major role of HR, because HR should be the training partner or the coaching partner kind of thing. HR should not sit in his corporate office and see the numbers that 30 guys from this plant, 40% strategy went to this training program and these are the results. HR also should get into the place and understand that is it real thing which is going on, which will mitigate the activity which company might think that हम बाहर से किसी को ले आते हैं. So
But here, Avinash, I'm hearing two perspectives. You know, the cost of a leader leaving is culture cost.
yes,
We are hiring somebody who comes with a not a culture driven thing, but from
excuse me,
complete different perspectives.
yeah,
तो यहाँ तो ब्लंडर ही हो गया.
blunder होता है. There are many
होता है.
places where it has happened. Because of that, I told that how company behaves when it goes through change. Are you hiring a chief change officer or a chief executive officer or what? Now there are many smart jargons coming up: CCO, CHO, CPO. But are you driving change now? If you are driving change now, then are you not late? Change is ever evolving factor. It was supposed to be 10 years before it was a change. Today also it's a change for next 10 years. So what we are driving, if we are driving real change, our segment or the category which we are dealing is, for example, let us say women apparel segment. It's a change every second.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you do not inculcate change, your inside talent will come with a mindset that it's always a change. It's not always a change. Every second it's a change. So a person comes out from the category and he says that we will not change because we are very big brand. We'll only do this SKUs. It won't happen. If he says that I want to change it faster, I have come from the same segment and they have done well, we should do this, then that also will fail. So it's a very critical aspect of handholding by both the things. He was talking about second generation and all, and the HR fraternity. They should act like absorbing advisors, where they understand what is happening, then they should advise what to do next, because everybody says HR acts passive, but in my experience I have seen HR has been very active in deciding companies bottom line. It really helps. So HR should act like that. They also are responsible for bottom line, responsible for growth.
So again, same thing. In one of the episode, it was said that CHRO should have Bimal, I just missed. No, bottom line numbers should be in the KPI.
KPI. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, so you have seen those kind of instances.
And same your chief executive officer should have. He should have bringing up the second line, being making everybody, keeping everybody happy, and productivity numbers and attrition numbers and all those things should be a CEO's smart numbers. It should not be in a second table. First table is EBITDA, ROI, ROC, net profit and all. And second table is this. It should not be like that. It should be in same parallel line so that responsibility is mutually shared.
Right. So, Bimal, few minutes back, you shared that, companies are more reactive, right? So, as per you, what is the right time, to start the, pipelining for next level leaders, right? To keep them ready, and how much pipeline should company have?
So basically, in the organization, there is a concept called ABP, Annual Business Plan, okay, which every organization follows, where you are designing the plans, you are creating the roadmaps, not for 1 year or 2 years, moving forward next 5 to 10 years. Right now, when you are having such kind of roadmap, so your PBB also should be there, people business plan, right? Your people strategy, in very simple language I'm telling you. So HR normally, so in good companies, good practices I'm sharing with you. There are some good companies are also following good practices, that your people strategy comes before the business strategy. Now, there are some people who have that kind of cognizance and the roadmap available, that, okay, tomorrow if company will be 5,000 crore, then how many CEOs I will be required? How many business CHROs I will be required? Although there will be only group CHRO. Then how many basically CFOs I will be required, right? Now, HR normally does two kind of analytics. One kind of, suppose tomorrow company reaches 5,000, if I have to hire 3 CEOs, 3 CFOs, and I will take minimum 6 months to 8 months, and no business will accept that, okay, this CXOs, because everyone wants the people immediately right now. Okay, if I have asked today, yesterday the person should be there. So that's the kind of era in which we are working. So in that context, I will say, if you have made a plan for next 5 years, so this is the right time to start building up the leadership pipeline.
That's a good thought. यहाँ पे I would like to understand, Abhinash, from you. If HR is coming up with a proposal कि आपको 4 साल के बाद 3 CFO चाहिएंगे, तो हमें अभी leadership development program में invest करना है. Does that thought of that project is given priority by business?
Not always, to be candid. If the purpose or the growth plan of the company is daunting, everybody understands that in this competitive world we have to grow 4x, and board have been discussing on this for the last 2 quarters. HR also is part of that, because the group CHRO also is part of the board discussion. So he also is hearing. If you are, as a business leader, as strategic guy, you are hearing for the last 2 quarters and you have not acted. You don't have a paper saying that, okay, for 4x, for 20,000 crores top line, I have to be like this. If HR comes up with a proposal, everybody should welcome. Should say that, okay, proactively HR has come, let us sit down and discuss. And I completely agree with him. I have seen in my experiences, yes, the strategy consulting companies, they come up, they say that this is the market potential is going to grow by 1.8 times. Why you don't invest in these kind of things? And before the annual business plan or annual operating plan is finalized, there are companies, they decide on what to do in terms of classification of responsibilities. For example, 3 CEOs, 3 CFOs, 3 manufacturing operations head and all. It is being done in India. It is being done, and all those large businesses where the scope of control is very, very large, they do it.
Right. But then, if these proposals are not immediately, that such decisions are delayed from business side.
Yes.
That is what I understand, right? फिर जब नीड पड़ता है एक्चुअली बिजनेस लीडर की जरूरत होती है व्हाई इज इट दैट एचआर ओनली गेटिंग पेड इट्स बिकॉज इट people
Yes.
person having being on seat is HR ka responsibility.
Yes, so that's an irony which goes on. I, as a personal leadership practitioner, I do not believe that, because if you do that, you get resistance. Growth doesn't come from resistance; it comes from change, and change is happiness. Complementing activities should be there. Okay, HR is responsible. We do not disagree on that. But what have we done as leaders to mitigate? Are we not looking at this kind of risky time we are investing in not thinking something else? What's the cost of time we will bear now if we do not look at HR's perspective? So 50-50. It happens. HR gets blamed, and 50% I have seen good companies, their HR is not blamed. They're encouraged. It is the right time you have come up. Let us discuss. But we have to accept we operate like this, and it's a long way to go with right HR analytics, right intervention of AI. HR will come up. I am damn sure that companies have been working. I have not exposed to smart HR analytics, which can give you the monthly behavioral index of 5 guys and rank them based on their performance on how they perform, not what they perform. So if HR comes up with some analytics kind of this and all, and comes with numbers and says that, boss, this is the fittest most guy for your this operation, the fittest most guy for that operation, then with these numbers and logics, any business will be compelled to give time to HR and understand. That's what HR, what happened with me, I'll tell you. HR comes up with 2 guys' name, and they say that he should be finance head, he should be manufacturing head, because he's here for the last 27 years and he is there for the last 13 years. So I asked, what is the qualification? It is number of years, or when he tries to lead, can he lead both the angle, people angle and number angle? So they said, no, people angle they lead very good, but what about number angle? Now the persons will help him, so he is not a leader then. Leader is supposed to be helped to certain extent where it will help him to decide, but he has to be courageous enough to decide, and for that he should lead with numbers, understand and all. So it's a 50-50%, 50-50 game, but we have to accept this.
So, Bimal, as per you, what does a future ready pipeline looks like? If sudden changes happen, maybe resignations or new business needs and restructuring, right? How much strong pipeline does an organization have in such scenarios?
You see, this question is a little complex question, because this differs from organization to organization, from industry perspective. It differs from industry to industry. Now, future ready pipeline, basically most of the companies, they are not that much successful, right? Because every industry is having a different competition dynamics. Competitive dynamics are completely different, right? Now, let's go back to the COVID. Okay, no one has anticipated COVID and all this stuff. Still, the highest growth and the performances has only come in COVID, where people were not active in the offices, people were not on site, right? At that point of time, what has happened? That one kind of transformation has taken place, which is a digital transformation. So technology has taken over the people, right? But if you really see, the adverse side is that your supply chain, your raw materials has gone haywire.
Yes.
So your supply was lower than your demand. So उल्टा होता है. कोविड से पहले उल्टा था, डिमांड से सप्लाई ज़्यादा था, वहाँ पे ये कम हो गया. तो ये सारे जो डायनेमिक्स होते हैं वो ओवर द नाइट आ जाते हैं आपके पास एज ए बिजनेस. तो उस टाइम पे आपको समझ में नहीं आता, एचआर को खुद को नहीं समझ में आता कि अभी फ्यूचर पाइपलाइन को कैसे करें. And so at that point of time, then they figure out the scenarios कि चलो 50% internal करते हैं, 50% ये करते हैं. But interestingly, I have few of the examples where that company, what they have done, they were supposed to hire almost 100 managers. And they were having, because it's a multinational company and they have got a project from the Europe and they were supposed to complete in 6 months time. अभी जब एचआर से बात किया तो एचआर ने बोला भाई इतना नोटिस पीरियड है, हम चाहे जितना भी 24 घंटे भी काम करेंगे तो 3 महीने से पहले आदमी नहीं ला सकते, राइट? बिकॉज जो कंट्रोल में, कुछ चीज़ें आपके कंट्रोल में होती है, कुछ चीज़ें आपके बाहर के कंट्रोल में होती है, राइट? सो एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम दैट यंग गाय, सेकेंड जनरेशन प्रमोटर, हैज़ टेकन अ कॉल कि हमारे जितने भी टॉप परफॉर्मर्स है, राइट, तो टॉप परफॉर्मर्स को वी विल गिव अ चांस एंड वी विल गिव द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू परफॉर्म दिस रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़. At that point of time, leadership was not sure. जो business leader था, he was not sure. CHRO was also not sure. उन दोनों को पूछा what is your take? तो बोल रहे कि सर अभी थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा, competency नहीं है, ये नहीं है, right? So at that point of time, as a promoter, your risk appetite talks. How much risk you really want to take on the people? And let me tell you very honestly, ये मेरा personal experience है of 20 years, right? The promoters of the companies are doing a better HR job than the HR professionals.
Interesting.
I'm telling you very honestly, if you talk about the connect, if you talk about the access, if you talk about the emotional quotient, if you talk about the risk appetite, ये जो स्टेटमेंट प्रमोटर ने दिया वो CHR को बोलना चाहिए था कि सर हमें पता है कि 40-50 पूरा रेडी नहीं है, राइट, 40-50% रेडी है, लेट्स टेक अ रिस्क एपेटाइट, राइट, हम ट्रेन कर सकते हैं, हम रातों रात ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम कर देंगे, ये कर देंगे, बट सर इनको अपॉर्चुनिटी दे दे, लेट देम फ्लरिश. ओके, वो चीज़ें नहीं होती है, राइट? तो एक तो ये प्रॉब्लम है. दूसरा है कि फ्यूचर रेडी पाइपलाइन में आई एम स्टिल टेलिंग यू इट इज़ कंप्लीटली लिंक विद योर रोड मैप. अगर आपको 5 साल के बाद 5,000 करना है तो उसका तैयारी आपको 5 साल पहले करना है. So you should be ready with that. Right kind of people should be promoted. Right kind of competency. और अभी तो काफ़ी सारे HR interventions है. Like you have a assessment center, you have a development center, you have a AI driven psychometric test, behavioral test, leadership competency test, 16P होता है. बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती है अभी. So now the technology has made the job of HR little comfortable and easy also. By doing so, you can gauge. जब मैंने मेरा career start किया था तो probably I was the only person who was speaking the language of psychometric test in my entire organization. किसी को पता नहीं था. I'm talking 20 years back जब ये चीज़ें नहीं होती थी. अब तो ये चीज़ें बहुत ही frequently होती है, right? तो future ready pipeline में मैं एक ही चीज़ बताऊँगा आपको पद्मा कि it is purely about intent. आप क्या करना चाहते हो कंपनी में? आप बाहर से लाना चाहते हो या आप अंदर से पैदा करना चाहते हो? बस यही, दैट इंटेंट विल वर्क आउट एवरीथिंग. नाउ अभी when Abhinash was talking, one thing also came in mind, one analytics I was referring of one of the consulting firm. It's very unfortunate in the Indian context that 90% companies, at least 95% companies are bringing CHRs from outside only.
LinkedIn is flooded. Join us, CHR.
Now-
Join us, CHR.
Now, in one of the conversation like this, there was a conversation why this is happening. This is happening because HR only does transaction. HR is not doing the business. HR के KRA KPI में से सारी चीज़ें हटा दो आप, एट्रिशन हटा दो, सब कुछ हटा दो. वहाँ पे सिर्फ 2 ही KRA रखो, टॉप लाइन अचीवमेंट, बॉटम लाइन अचीवमेंट.
Very right.
ऑटोमेटिक आपके CHRO अंदर से प्रोड्यूस होने स्टार्ट हो जाएंगे. दैट्स द बिगेस्ट इश्यू विद द इंडस्ट्रीज. वेन एवर आई एम टॉकिंग टू द प्रमोटर्स ऑल्सो, प्रमोटर इज ऑल्सो हैविंग द चैलेंज कि बिमल मेरा HR बिजनेस नहीं समझता. दैट्स व्हाई आई एम ब्रिंगिंग यू ऑन बोर्ड एज अ कंसल्टेंट.
Right. But there are
Yes.
good leaders in the market where I have seen a CHRO taking a CBO role, a CBO taking a CHRO role. And I think that's the best practice a company can have. If
I can give you one example, a live example. Many will correlate. I am not naming the leader or the organization name, but I have worked there. So a great HR leader of the industry, working in many fields, uh, takes over CHRO-ship of a company. It's a large manufacturing company and very retail oriented. When he takes at as HR function, he does wonders, many smart activities he does. Suddenly, the promoters believe that he should be given a chance as group CEO or a CEO. So we as leaders, we understood that he was a good, great guy. He was understanding everything and all, always speaking about numbers. Where there will be reviews, he comes with numbers. So fortunately, he also did lead us as a CEO, the business as a CEO, group CEO. That is the time when the company grew at 3.8x.
wow.
Everything got revamped. All smart businesses set in. Superb guys were coming in, and all those numbers which were struggling ones because of his people connect ability and the number driving ability, things got, because he knew everybody by first name. So he didn't call Mr. Such and such. He calls by first name and he is asked about your family, what they are doing, what's your daughter doing, son doing, and then he proposes that why don't we stop procurement from this and start doing this, because one of my examples are this, and 50% things are done at that time, and the chief procurement officer understands that the fellow who is saying this is connected and having ability of decoding the numbers. And it showed up, and we are very proud that during that time that company grew 3.8x, and that is led by another gentleman again who also hails from HR. So there are examples in Indian context.
With Avina's example, I resonate one example which I have seen practically in my one of my experience. One day, 7 o'clock in the morning, like all key people, came a very sad news by the mobile on, like by the call that group CHR of the company passed away
Oh.
through heart attack. Okay. Now, fine, everything was happen, everything is there, and now there was the biggest question in front of the promoters: what should we do now? Right. So, like everyone was talking about the same standard traditional language. Okay, okay, we will manage for some time. We will bring new CHRO and all this stuff was happening. So there are many discussions in happening in boardroom, and the person who he was belongs to promoter family, and he had taken a charge in the board recently. So he was listening very quietly, all of them. After 1.5 hours, he only told, okay, I have one proposal in front of you, and I strongly recommend this guy for CHRO. So everyone's saying, no. How come he doesn't know HR? He doesn't know people management, doesn't know. He was heading supply chain and logistics of the company.
Oh my God.
And because he belongs to promoter family, then people could not resist much. People have given their opinion and feedback and that, and then that person has been called, and he has not been asked and told, "Ki boss, from tomorrow onwards, you are heading group HR of the company. So you take the charge and give me your 30 days, 60 days, 90 days plan, how you are going to do it." And that person also was optimistic. उसको भी समझ में नहीं आया कि क्या हो रहा है मेरे साथ. तो बट प्रमोटर ने बोला था, ही कुड नॉट रेजिस्ट. तो उसने बोला ठीक है बॉस, आई टेक दिस चैलेंज. तो लाइक नो, आई एम वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट यू विल बी सक्सेसफुल, गो हैड, ऑल द बेस्ट. ऐसा करके उसने प्लान बना दिया, सारी चीज़ें कर दी. यू विल नॉट बिलीव, in next 3 years, he transformed the entire HR function of the company, and company has been rewarded all the best HR awards in these 3 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Now, so he was doing excellently well as his group CHRO, and after 3 to 4 years, when third year, I think his appraisal is done, and he was asking a question that, boss, I just want some feedback about my performance, and what's your plan now for me? तो बोले कि नहीं HR हो गया, tomorrow onwards you are taking the charge of manufacturing, of all the manufacturing plants of the organization. Now, so the like you, when someone has asked that gentleman that why you have done such kind of risky transition when you are sitting in the volume of 10,000 crore rupees company, you are a public listed company and all of that. Look, I can tell you only one thing, that when I met this person first time, I got my CEO. And I'm preparing him for CEO.
Very good. Well said.
Excellent. Excellent.
So, you see, it's not like that you require a leadership development, you have to send the people to IIM. It's not required. It's purely required the kind of eye and spark. So, CEO what wants? CEO doesn't want that you need to have a 360 degree. CEO wants that spark and passion. And promoter needs to have that kind of confidence that, okay, he is someone who can take up my organization at next level.
Right, right. So, a very, candid, very honest conversation with you too, where what I understand is it's not HR responsibility, it's not business, but it's definitely a joint responsibility.
Yes. Yes.
But
always.
at the same time, business needs to see the situation, the perspective from HR angle. HR needs to see it from a business angle,
Yes.
right? And that's what all the organizations need to understand and prepare their strategies accordingly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's complete joint responsibility, nobody to blame. Yeah. So thank you for being here. It was amazing to talk to you. I have personally got lot of good insights about the leadership development programs or maybe leadership development strategies. Thank you so much. So just for our audiences, leadership continuity is not optional. If a company doesn't build future leaders, it creates business risk.
Absolutely.
I hope I'm
Absolutely. Well.
Yeah.
on this. Yeah. HR alone cannot do this. Business leaders alone cannot do this. But must own it together. Yeah. So now think about your own teams. Look at your business plans for next 3 years, 5 years, and look at, do you have those key people who are going to take those responsibilities needed to scale up your business? Do you have that people internally? If no, then this episode is for you. Don't miss it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Padma.
Thank you, Pablo.
Thank you.